Hello! This video will take you through the bookmaking process of The Terror of the Intertidal. Here is all about our book. But before we start, let me introduce you to the creators of the book. From the left, we have Felicia, Letitia who is also our illustrator, Valencia, Wincy and Huda. We hope to give you a glimpse into the creation and publication process, from why we chose this topic to brainstorming the plot and to the illustrating process. Before we begin, we would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Zihan Jafar for patiently mentoring us. She works as a senior lecturer at the Department of Biological Sciences in the National University of Singapore, as well as a marine biologist that specializes in evolution, ecology, and behavior of fish, and has been working for the protection of reefs at the Southern Islands. First, why Terror of the Intertidal? Why did we choose this topic, and how did we end up with this title? Firstly, we are huge nature lovers. As a group, we really enjoy visiting the Intertidal during our free time and appreciate the biodiversity there. Honestly, the Intertidal is something that fascinates us, and hence, we want to write a book to show the wonders of the Intertidal and spread our love for it. More importantly, we recognize the need to raise awareness and address the pertinent issue of people taking intertidal creatures from their natural habitat. An article in Channel News Asia highlighted the increasing problem of people taking intertidal creatures from Changi Beach for personal consumption or aquarium. Nature enthusiasts have also remarked that they have seen a drop in the biodiversity of the Changi Beach area, which can be attributed to creatures being picked up by visitors. Such heartbreaking news and sights made us realize the extent of this issue, which greatly helped our process in the creation of this book.
Now, moving on to the narration and plot. Through this book, we hope to educate children on the appropriate behavior at the intertidal, as well as increase awareness regarding problems faced by the intertidal. Beyond the problem of collecting creatures, we also want to bring attention to how touching wildlife causes stress to it, and how careless trampling is detrimental to marine creatures and their habitats. We share guidelines on these on the do's and don'ts page in our book. In coming up with a storyline, we took into account the needs of our target audience. These considerations were the need for a straightforward yet meaningful theme and the need for simple language. We also considered the importance of colorful pictures to capture the wonders of the intertidal. Initially, our group was torn between two main ideas for our storyline, either basing it on a hermit crab and his shell, or the shrimp goby and snapping shrimp. Eventually, we decided to base our storyline on the shrimp goby and snapping shrimp. When more research was done into the relationship between the shrimp goby and snapping shrimp, we were extremely intrigued and fascinated by the special symbiotic relationship that was shared between these two creatures. We also thought that portraying this relationship in the book would make it more interesting for our readers, since not many people know about their unique bond, let alone the creatures themselves. Our final storyline, after countless discussions and changes, wound up to be an introduction of intertidal creatures, followed by Stormy the shrimp goby getting taken by a mysterious figure, which led Elfie, the snapping shrimp, to go on a journey to investigate, and finally reunite with Stormy.
So, you might be wondering, how did we name the characters in our book? The names of our characters are based on their scientific names. For example, Elfie is named after Elphius dispar, the scientific name of the snapping shrimp. Initially, we wanted to name the shrimp goby Myers, based on Myrsina macrostoma. However, taking into consideration the fact that the target audience of this book is younger children, we felt that they will not be able to pronounce it. Hence, we changed its name to Stormy. We used different language devices to add personality to our characters to make them shine and stand out in their own way, through the use of puns and a third person's perspective. For example, puns are used specifically by Elfie, the snapping shrimp, and Nereus, the hermit crab. In Alfie's case, there is a scene whereby he goes, "Oh snap, I'm trapped." The word snap is used as a pun, since that's the sound produced by the popping of a bubble when his larger claw opens and closes rapidly. In Nereus's case, he says, "What shall we do?" The word shall is used as a pun since he lost his shell. On the other hand, we made Nat the ball moon snail speak from a third person's perspective, referring to herself by her name, giving her a unique demeanor. As one of our main objectives is to educate, we inserted interesting fun facts throughout the book regarding the creatures of the Intertidal, so that our readers can learn more about them. Hence, readers' knowledge and understanding of the biodiversity of the Intertidal can be significantly deepened. Moving on to our tedious but also rewarding illustration process. We started off with a very rough sketch of our book on a whiteboard, where we represented our characters as just circles and shapes, to character creation and then to a detailed sketch on paper. Our illustrator then developed the sketch further into line art and proceeded with gouache as the medium. We will further elaborate as to why we decided to choose gouache as our paint medium later. In this draft, we were testing out the colors for each creature to make sure it was cohesive before launching into our final draft. Here, you can see the final page design done by our graphic artists.
Here is our character creation process. We took inspiration from pictures Dr. Zihan and Miss Riatan had provided us with and drew it out to the best of our abilities while paying attention to significant physical traits. For the snapping shrimp, we took note of which claw was the bigger one, the left one, and made sure that this was reflected accurately in Alfie. Other creatures that are featured in the book are Stormy the shrimp goby, Nereus the hermit crab, Nella the sand dollar, Tubby and Bubby the straw tube worms, Esther the biscuit sea star, Holly the garlic bread sea cucumber, Nat the ball moon snail, Greg the carpet eel blenny, as well as the spoon seagrass in the background of the maze. One of the intertidal creatures which we had a slight issue with was Sarah the pink warty. In our initial illustration, Sarah ended up resembling a flagellum. Hence, we modified the illustration to make her look more like a pink warty. As you can see, a plethora of intertidal creatures are being mentioned in our book, and that is because we wanted to show readers how rich and diverse the intertidal biodiversity is. One part of our book that we pondered over a lot was the color of the little human's boots. Initially, we wanted to choose red. However, we found out that Alfie was colorblind, and one of the colors that he could not see was red. As a result, we changed it to yellow, which is a color that he could identify, and yellow symbolized danger, which was what the culprit posed to the intertidal.
As for the art style of our book, we chose to adopt gouache, which is a type of paint since it dries with a matte finish, which seemed fitting to convey the aesthetic of Intertidal. Gouache also dries much faster than watercolor and can also be re-wetted, which meant that any mistakes could be quickly covered up or repainted. More importantly, gouache is both vibrant and opaque, which enhances the visual appeal of our book. All in all, our experience in writing this book is a very arduous yet meaningful one, as although we had to invest a substantial amount of time in writing, we have learned equally as much, if not more, throughout this enduring journey of ours. Besides that, teamwork was also an essential skill that we honed. By working together with one another to complete our book, as well as delegating specialized tasks to one another according to our skills to maximize our potential. Most importantly, we also learned the significance of time management by working around our tight schedules, especially during busy school periods. Last but not least, we developed a greater awareness and appreciation for the intertidal throughout this long but fun journey. With that, we have come to the end of our book process presentation. Thank you, and we hope that you would enjoy our book.